I have officially finished my last day of military service, and there's a lot of emotions associated with that. I guess a couple are relief, excitement, sadness as well, a little bit of bittersweetness. And I'm gonna explain why I'm feeling these emotions and why I wanted to reflect in this way. So, I wanted to record this today, right when I just got done doing what I had to do to get out of the Air Force. And I'm probably gonna post it tomorrow because tomorrow will be the first day that I'm genuinely gonna be a military veteran. And I'm happy, but like I said, I'm also a little sad because I made a lot of good friends, and I met a lot of cool people, throughout the years wearing this uniform or any variation of it. And I'm not gonna miss the uniform, I'm not gonna miss the work, but I am gonna miss the people and the camaraderie that I had. And that's, I'm sure other service members watching this can relate in their own way. It's about people that have separated or retired. They can relate that, yeah, it's not about the job, but it's about the friendships and the bonds that you make. I'm trying not to ramble. I'm trying to keep my thoughts together, but I'm fucking exhausted. When I tell you, I was so fucking anxious last night preparing for this day. I did not sleep. Wallahi, I fucking did an all-nighter for no reason. I should have got at least a couple hours of sleep. I drove from North Carolina up to Virginia because I'm stationed in Virginia, and I had to, be here in person to out process. And it was about a 6-hour drive with stops to get gas. So granted, I left at night, and I actually left a little later than I should have. I'm staying with a friend, and they don't get off of work until late at night, and around 11. And I knowing that I should have left around like 5:36. I didn't leave till 8:30 on some stupid shit, and I got here at like 2:45, and I had to be up at 7 a.m. And knowing that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a couple hours of sleep. My body did not let me sleep, and I guess it's due to anxiousness and excitement for what I had to do today. My fucking, I'll give a brief background of my service real quick. For people that are watching this that don't know who I am or don't know my military service background, I'm separating from the Air Force after 4 years of active duty, but 8 years of total military service. And I say 8 years of total military service because my journey in the military began in 2018, in July 2018. I graduated high school in May of that year, and during senior year, I did not really know what I wanted to do. I applied to a couple of in-state schools and stuff, and I thought that was just going to be the thing. I thought I was just going to go to Clemson or University of South Carolina or fucking Alabama or whatever, and I got accepted to all those schools. And then I had a couple friends in high school that were applying to what are called military service academies. Two applied to the Air Force Academy, and one applied to the Naval Academy. And I decided to look into it because they encouraged me to, and I decided to apply to the Air Force Academy. And all three of us that applied to the Air Force Academy got in. The two that applied, my two friends, and got in, they graduated in 2022, and they're now captains, I believe. If y'all are watching this, please verify that. I think y'all are captains now. Congrats, by the way. I think y'all just promoted. The one that applied to the Naval Academy, she did not make it through, but she has a good job as a construction worker, I believe. But besides the point, I made it in as well. I made it. I got accepted into the academy, but the way military service academies work is there's two types of admissions. There's direct admission, and there's like a deferred admission. The deferred admission is where typically you go to a preparatory school for a year and do that program to help you gain admittance into the academy. It's basically the version of saying, hey, we don't think you're ready yet, but we still want to help you get there. And low-key, when I got that news that I wasn't going to get the direct acceptance, but rather the prep school, I low-key was deterred from that. But then I had to really consider my family situation and the fact that my mom or my aunt, rest in peace, couldn't pay for school. Like they had no means to pay for a college education for me. So that made me choose to go to the academy via the prep school, and everything was free. Obviously, everything is free in terms of when you go to a military academy. So I chose the Air Force route, and if you don't know what a military service academy is, it's basically a military college. You gain a bachelor's of science degree in your chosen major. So we'll talk about what I first majored in, and then what I switched my major to shortly. But my first major was, hold on, let me pause. Hold on. Okay, we're back. So in July 2018, before I talk about the academy, I went to the prep school. With the Air Force Academy, it's in the same city, so on the same base. So Colorado Springs, Colorado, on the Air Force Academy base. It's like literally right down the road from the academy. It's a whole school it's a whole campus with dorm rooms and everything. And so I went there in 2018, and they had their version of basic military training, BMT, which is similar to what enlisted people get at Lackland Air Force Base. And that program was about 2 months long. Yeah, just under 2 months, I believe. And there was MTIs. On the first day, there were MTIs screaming at everybody. I remember I had to get my bag and had fucking. Well, if you don't know what MTIs are, military training instructors. They're the motherfuckers with the big fucking state trooper hats, and they're in the uniform. They fucking yell at you. It's like Full Metal Jacket. Like they yell at you. But they were only there for the first day, at least at the Academy Prep School. They were only there for the in-processing day. But then I got my squadron, my group of people that I was gonna be with and live with. I was in Bravo Squad, shout out B Squad. If y'all know, who are watching this. Appreciate y'all. And I went through that training, made it through, started my prep school year in August, and ended in, what was that, May 2019. I graduated from prep school and got my admittance into the academy. My whole family came out, my mom, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, everybody came out and supported me for that. And in June So basically I had a month of just like chill before I had to go do the Air Force Academy training, and went there in June of 2019. And the academy, compared to the prep school, the academy is like fucking 20 times bigger. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's way bigger. There's way more people, way more squadrons, groups of people. So I got assigned to God, how intricate do I want to be with this? Just go fucking look up like what Air Force Academy's basic cadet training structure looks like with all the squadrons and groups. But what you got to know about the Air Force Academy is that there's 40 cadet squadrons, and my basic training squadron basically correlated to the cadet squadron that I was going to be in. So my freshman year and sophomore year, I was in cadet squadron 39, Jedi Knights. Shout out Jedi Knights, force be with you. And my my junior year, before I left, I was in cadet squadron 20, the Trolls. I made it my, oh fuck, excuse me, I'm not cutting this out, by the way. I make it through basic cadet training. That was about that was over 2 months long. It was like 2.5 months long. I in process, well, not in process, that was during the training. I make it through. I become a freshman, 4 degree. There's degrees, so like that's what they're called. Like each year you're a different degree. So freshmen are 4 degrees, 4 digs. Sophomores are 3 digs, 3 degrees. Juniors are 2 digs, 2 degrees. And then seniors are first degrees. So I was a 4th degree, low, bottom of the totem pole ass nigga. And there's a whole bunch of rituals that freshmen have to follow during their year before they go through this event called recognition and get recognized. There's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but basically I get through that year, right? And this is 2019 to 2020. And if you know what, you fucking know what happened in 2020, COVID, right? The way COVID impacted me during my freshman year was we get to the weekend-long training event called recognition for the freshmen, and I'm fucking partaking in it. And after the first day, the superintendent, so like the basically the equivalent of the president of the school, president of the academy, he's a general. He called the entire student body to the cafeteria and basically explained that the lower 3 classes were going home, and the sophomores, the class of 2020, or the seniors, the class of 2020 would stay there to fucking graduate. And that was no bullshit. We all thought that was bullshit when they called it off. We were like, oh, this is part of the training. Why the fuck are they calling it off? We had no idea that a pandemic was happening. And then the next day, the superintendent tells everybody, yeah, the seniors are staying, everybody else is going home. And so I had to fucking start my virtual bullshit. I got extended spring break essentially, which was kind of nice. I was just basically, at home for a month before, the team's saga started, and that was fun and stuff. But academically, I declared as I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I just want to say, I just want to reflect on my military service, so please bear with me. I started off academically my freshman year, declaring as a computer science major, at the end of my freshman year. I declared as a computer science major, and became quickly fucking overwhelmed with that program. Realized that I was way too deep in over my head, and that the niggas who fucking declared as computer science majors fucking really did that shit. They really do programming. They really do computing for real. I was just interested in technology. I was not interested in programming, and no shade to the comp sci department at the academy, but that's basically what it was. It was just straight programming, my nigga. And you know, if there's no help, basically, like there was no hope. If you didn't know how to program, you were kind of fucked. And so I'm struggling through my first semester sophomore year class, my sophomore year basically. I'm struggling through my sophomore year because I declared at the end of my freshman year. So sophomore year, as I get into these comp sci classes, also dealing with like this like COVID pandemic bullshit where we weren't like at home anymore. We were back on campus, but some of us were co-located, like my squadron, Cadet Squadron 39. We were in Great Wolf Lodge for like 2 months. Shout out to my Jedi Knights. If y'all were there with me, y'all know that after like a couple weeks it was cool, but a bunch of shit was closed. Like at the lodge, you couldn't fucking like go to the water park or any of that, which kind of sucked. But anyway, so I'm doing these comp sci classes from a fucking hotel room, right? Not learning a goddamn thing, and inevitably fail. Like all of those majors classes. Like I either got D's or F's in like every majors class, which forced me to be put on academic probation and then get what's called hard art, which means I had to go against the academic review board of a bunch of like high-ranking officers, where they like, it was like 5-6 officers. It was like majors and above. They fucking examined me and determined my worth as a cadet and as a student, and tried to figure out, what were the next moves for me. Was I going to be disenrolled? What was going to happen? And I went through 2 hard arcs. The second one led to my disenrollment, which I'll talk about here soon. But the first hard arc, they were just like, you need to switch majors. This is, comp sci is not for you. So, halfway, I described it wrong. So the first semester, I got hard arced of my sophomore year. Second semester, I switched to business management, and shit was cool, but my GPA was so fucking low, bro. Like it was just dog shit low. And actually I described it wrong again. I'm everything's coming back to me. At the end of my sophomore year, I redeclared, I changed my major to business administration. And, at the beginning of my junior year, I had such a fucking crater, like a fucking mountain to climb in terms of redeeming my GPA. I fucking couldn't, bro. Like, my shit was like, at the end of sophomore year, my shit was like a 1.4. Like, it was bad, bro. I'm surprised they didn't kick me out then. But they were like, you gotta get over a 2.0 by like the end of the first semester of your junior year, else you're gonna get hard arced again and have to go up against that academic review board. And I was just overwhelmed, and I also got put on honor probation because I lied about doing an assignment, an extra credit assignment for a fucking biology class for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I was just trying to save my GPA. I fucking lied and got caught and got put on honor probation and had to do a bunch of shit for that. So that, along with academic probation, I really fucked myself. And so I couldn't lock in. Like, my GPA, even though I was going to what's called EI, office hours, basically the equivalent of where you go to the professor's office after hours and, study with them, get tutoring, whatever. I was doing all that, like, damn near, like, every day, like, multiple times a week. And, like, I couldn't. I had to take a fucking mechanical engineering class, and and I fucking failed. I failed. And that is what drove the hard arc at the end of the first semester of my junior year. And the academic board, which was the high-ranking officers, like majors and above, they decided that they were done with me. They were going to disenroll me. So that had to move up a chain of command. So it went from them to the dean of faculty, which was a 1-star general. And, you know, she basically like conferred with the academic board, and she was like, no, get the fuck out. And then it moved from her to the superintendent, which is like the military leader. That was another 1-star general. And he conferred with everybody else and said, get the fuck out. And then I met personally with the superintendent, the 3-star general of the academy, General Clark. And I'm not gonna, you know, shit talk him as a veteran. Like, he did what he felt was best. But I pled my case. I was like, sir, like, please, like, this is my life. Like, I'm so dedicated to this school and to this mission, and I want to graduate, and I want to commission as an officer with everybody else. And I'm so locked in and dedicated to achieving this that I won't let anything get in my way. And he basically told me that you're kind of fucking stupid. There's only so much that we can ask of our faculty. Basically calling me dumb, the way he saw it. And, you know, if he sees this and disagrees, he might have his own opinion, but that's the way I saw it. So even though I tried to plead my case with a 3-star general, it didn't work out. And the leader of my squadron, I was in CS-20, the Trolls by this time. He was a major, Major Yerk, Y-E-R-K. I don't know what he might be like a colonel by then, by now. I don't know. I think he might have ranked. No, he was a colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Yerk. Sorry, he might be a general now. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, or he might be retired. Who fucking knows, man? If you're watching this, what's up? What's up? No bad blood against you. You were good, more or less. But he basically told me that my options were, because the superintendent had disenrolled me, I either had to do a recoupment of the cost, basically meaning that I was liable to pay back $400,000 USD of tuition cost, which am I Bill Gates? Like, what the fuck? Or I could do an active duty service commitment. I could either serve a 4-year active duty career or 2-year reservist career. And so I got kicked out of the academy in February 2022. I was forced to move from Colorado back to South Carolina. And I chose the 4-year active duty career. And so from February 2022 to about August, I was kind of in limbo, just waiting to go to tech school for my enlisted job. And I was given a dream sheet of jobs and bases where I could, you know, pick a preference on what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. And I tell people all the time, my job wish list was all cyber. I wanted to do all computer shit because I was still so locked in on computers. I wanted to do computer shit. I wanted to do cyber. Nope. Needs of the Air Force. I get aviation resource management, baby. I babysit pilots, make sure they're good to fly. So I get that. And I was so fucking mad. I was like, what the fuck? I don't want to I don't want to do this shit. I want to do cyber. I want to do IT shit. And the Air Force just told me to get fucked. I had no other choice. And so as I get this job, I think I found that out in like March. I applied for a retail job before, in the meantime, just to fill some time before I had to go to tech school. So from like end of February, beginning of March to about the beginning of August, I worked a retail job at Men's Warehouse, and that was not fun. It was fun in the very beginning, but it quickly turned to not fun. And I was selling suits to like middle-aged men who didn't know their sizes, who let their wives take care of that shit for them, which was like, you're 50 and you don't know your pant size, my nigga, what the fuck. But yeah, and then in August of 2022, I went from South Carolina to the blistering, sweltering heat of Biloxi, Mississippi, Keesler Air Force Base, to train in my new job for 2 months. I made 2 good friends, shout out Street, shout out Laney, that I met down there. And we were all in the same career field. And that was ass. That experience in that heat during the fucking middle of the summer was so bad. But I wouldn't trade it for the world because of the people that I met. Shout out Street, shout out Laney. I graduated. My graduating class in tech school was 5 people. I have a photo on my Instagram if you want to go look. It was literally me and 4 other people. And I get assigned to Langley Air Force Base, and I go to Langley in October 2023. No, 2, sorry. I go to Langley in October 2022, and that was my first and only duty station. And I had 2 squadrons. The 1 OSS, which is like, you know, Operation Support Squadron. I was in the HARM office, so like the central office, that really just helped, you know, the agency across the entire wing, helped like all the aircrew. So all the aircrew throughout like the entire fighter wing, that was the HARM. So I was there for about 1 year. The vibe was all right. At the beginning, my first supervisor was an asshole. I'm not going to say his name because he's still in. I want him coming for me. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is. Fuck you. Piece of shit. I almost threw down with him when he was teaching. He was such a horrible teacher. Oh my God, he sucks so much dick. I hate him. Fuck you. Black dude too. Fuck you. And, but after he left, things got a little better. My supervisors were better. But I was in the HARM for a year, and then I went to the 7th Fire Training Squadron, Screaming Demons. Shout out, oh fuck. I keep doing the fucking patches wrong. Shout out Screaming Demons. You know what I'm saying? And that was my last squadron that I was in from October 23 to now. And had ups and downs, but I'm grateful for that group of people. We went through a lot of shit. I experienced a lot in that career field, good and bad. I'm grateful on the TDYs that I got to go on. I didn't deploy. I'll say it. I did not deploy. That was not me. I didn't want to. In my career field, I had an option not to. I know that some career fields like maintenance or whatever, you don't really have a fucking choice. You just go. But my career field, I was blessed to not, deploy if I didn't want to. My higher leadership was good about that, so I didn't deploy because I wanted to focus on school and finishing my degree. And so I'll talk a little bit more right now about how I got my bachelor's degree. So when I got to Langley in October 2022, that was my main focus. Finished my bachelor's degree. And right before tech school, I found Arizona State, and they had an earn admission program, basically saying, hey, you have a chance to redeem your GPA in order to gain the necessary requirements in order to enter your degree program. So I was able to take prereqs for like a couple months, I did have to pay out of pocket for those classes, but those turned into college credit that I could apply to my degree program. So I raised my GPA from like a 1.6, 1.8, whatever it was at the academy, to over 3.0. And I had a lot of transfer credits, thankfully, from the academy, basically meaning I didn't have to start from scratch. I went from 1.6 to 3.0, and I was basically like a junior level student still. So I had about 2 years ish before I could graduate with my degree. And so coming to Langley in October 2022, that was my main focus. I was starting my first semester at ASU, all online, obviously, because I'm in Virginia. Arizona State is in fucking Arizona, so it was an online program. But I was so determined to finish it and to start it and to finish it, and I really couldn't immediately when I got to Langley because I had to focus on OJT, on the job training, and getting in process and settled in. And I had to finish my my training, my initial training for my job before they would let me do school. So that was about a couple months. I had to do all that job training for a couple months before I could even like start my degree program. And so luckily I was able to like fast track it or whatever. So I did it. I did my job training in about 2 months. And then I started like spring semester in 2023. And I cranked it out. I was so locked in finishing that degree because it like getting disenrolled from the academy gave me so much fire and like desire to accomplish that goal, because I wanted to prove people wrong that said that I wasn't worthy, that let a GPA define who I was, because I knew that a GPA didn't define me, and I wanted to prove that. So I grinded and studied, and I'm grateful that last May in 2025, I was able to graduate summa cum laude with over 4.0 GPA. I made Dean's List every fucking semester because I wanted to prove people wrong. I did it out of spite. I did it for myself, yeah, but I did it out of spite to prove the niggas that didn't think I could do it wrong. 4.0 GPA. I never thought in my life that I was capable of that, but the academy put that fire in my ass. So I'm grateful for that. I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, I graduated last year, and I wasn't done. I still wanted to accomplish more things, so I looked into certifications. And after I graduated last year, I wanted to be certified in something. So I looked into project management. Basically, my degree at Arizona State was business, because I fell in love with business at the academy, but it was merged with IT. So it was business with a focus in IT. So I graduated with that degree from Arizona State, and then my first certification that I got last year was the PMP, Project Management Professional Certification. And let me check my battery life. Hold on. Okay, we good. Yeah, Project Management Professional, PMP, Project Management Professional Certification, through the Project Management Institute. The Air Force paid for it. It's a program called Air Force Cool, where they help people get certified if they want to get a certification, a industry-leading certification in something. The Air Force will help pay for it through the Education Center. So I applied for that. They had like a course on base. Well, not technically on base. It was close to base. It was like a workshop if you wanted to learn about PMP and like It was introducing you to the material and helping you learn. And I did that course. It was about like a week long, totally free, by the way, through the Air Force as well. So the Air Force paid for the certification and that prep course. And I wish I could say that I passed on the first try. I did not. I failed. I took that exam in July the 25th last year, and I failed. I failed miserably because I didn't study the right way, and I was reminded of the academy. I was like, why did I let this happen to me again? But I wasn't studying the right way. I didn't realize that I needed to dig into the textbook and the core material, and do practice test after practice test and be familiar with the types of questions that were being asked. So after July, when I failed, I let my instructor know that I failed, and he said, hey, it's okay. Shit happens. We're going to make a game plan, and we're going to come back in a couple weeks, and we're going to test again. But I'm going to give you a study, roadmap. No, he didn't say that. I'm sorry. I came up with my own study roadmap because I had to tell my leadership. And I didn't have to pay for the retake. Somehow, I didn't pay for the retake. The guy who led the PMP excuse me, my words. The guy that led the PMP course paid for it. It was one free retake, so I didn't have to pay for it. But instead of focusing on lectures and slides, I dug into that textbook. I read that textbook front to back multiple times. I did so many fucking practice tests and practice questions. I even paid for the PMI study prep that PMI offered, and I did those online quizzes. I did so many fucking practice questions, and when I took it the next month in August, passed easily. So got my project management cert, my first project management cert, but a pretty big one. And so after that, in August of last year, I knew I was within a year of separating where I am now, and I wanted to get one more. Something in me was like, get one more. Take advantage of what the Air Force is giving you, right? And I was trying to get out of doing my job in my career field early. And you kind of can if you're you can at any rank, but it's easier to do it as a lower enlisted airman. It's a program called Skill Bridge where you can learn skills that you can apply in the civilian side once you get out. And junior airmen are eligible, majorly, I think it's E1 to E4 are eligible within 6 months. I think they just changed the regs, but when I'm talking about when I was doing it, they were eligible 6 months prior to their DOS, right? So after August of last year, I started researching SkillBridge programs, and I went to the DoD SkillBridge website, and I emailed companies trying to find a SkillBridge opportunity, and I didn't really get a response back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had this one company called Cummins. It was an automotive engineering plant, and bro, I gave him my resume, and bro was basically oh yeah, we like it, we'll keep in touch. We'll see if there's an opening at the company. There wasn't. He told that to me just to save face, as a formality. He basically just said, go fuck yourself. So fuck you at Cummins. And then I emailed more companies, and I couldn't find anything, and it was getting very close to that 6 month mark. It was getting very close to January when I was gonna have to make that decision of what I wanted to do. And I found this program called O2O. onward to opportunity. And it was like Air Force Cool, where you could gain another certification, and they would pay for it. It was a self-study thing. You just pick the certification that you want, and they would pay for it, and they give you the prep material and everything. So I applied to Onward to Opportunity O2O, and I got accepted. And my leadership, shout out my commander. I love that man. I love that man so much. I was so blessed in the 7th to have such wonderful leadership. So if you're watching this, Colonel Slater, thank God for you. God bless you. You're an amazing man. Keep taking care of your troops, because that's how commanders are supposed to lead. So I think of him as the best commander of all time. He really cared about his airmen, especially when he could see that they were passionate about accomplishing things and following their dreams. So shout out Colonel Slater. Thank you so much. Love you. And he approved it. He was like, all right, Perry, you've been a hardworking airman here in the squadron. And I took my job very seriously. Yeah, time management wasn't the best, but I learned over time, and I locked in. And but my work ethic was there. I gave 110% at work, even though I was struggling with the time management a little bit, showing up on time and whatnot. But he approved that O2O program for me. And in mid-January, I moved from Virginia to North Carolina, to be with family and be closer to my mom. And I started that self-study. I spent the past 6 months, just locked into that house. And my routine was basically studying from like whenever I woke up to like whenever I went to the gym, taking the dog out, and rinsing and repeat. And so I did that for 6 months, and I was so intent on passing this Project Plus exam. That was the cert that I selected, the CompTIA Project Plus certification in IT project management. I was so intent on passing that I locked in. And rather than, making the same mistake I made for the PMP the first time I failed it, I did practice test after practice test after practice test. And the way the O2O program worked is you had to pass 3 practice tests with over an 80% before the program would pay for you to take the exam. You know how many fucking practice exams I took? Over 10, my nigga. Because I failed. I failed like the first 4 or 5 times. Maybe 6 times. I failed. I did not get over an 80% until like maybe the 5th or 6th time. And after that, I got the 80% that I needed. The 80% that I needed. And I scheduled the exam for a week after I got that last 80%, which was last week. And I go into the exam, and I was so fucking nervous. But I did it at a testing center, and I clicked submit, and it showed, congratulations, you passed with the required score. And now I have 2 IT certifications because of the Air Force. So all that rambling to say, I'm gonna close this video out because it's getting very long, and my phone's dying. But take advantage of the opportunities that the Air Force or any military branch gives you if you're still in, and be grateful for those opportunities once you get out, because yeah, you have benefits as a veteran. Yeah, I'm gonna have like VA benefits for sure, but if I were like in a position where I want to get a certification or something, I'm not quite sure like it would be that easy as a veteran. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm grateful that I did that through the Air Force. And I got my GI Bill as well. And majority of my bachelor's degree, I used TA, Air Force Tuition Assistance for. So I didn't really have to use the GI Bill. I think for a couple summer classes, because I was trying to graduate in 2 years, I had to use like a little bit of the GI Bill for. But I had like 36 months worth of GI Bill. So I had to use maybe a couple months for some summer classes. But majority was Mil TA. And I graduated with a bachelor's degree. I got my 2 certs through Air Force School. Well, I got my 1 cert through Air Force School, another one through SkillBridge. And now I'm happy to say that in September, I'm gonna be in Barcelona, Spain, working on my master's degree at EU Business School. I'm gonna be studying masters in artificial intelligence for business. I'll break down what that means as I get into it. It was mainly, the reason why I chose that degree was mainly because it was one of the only ones that the VA and my GI Bill would pay for fully. Obviously AI, very big industry. So, but I'm excited to go to Barcelona. I've been there before with a couple friends. I'm excited to study there and live there. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity because of the Air Force. So, as I take my hat off for the last time, I love you. I love all of you. I love what this uniform has done for me. I'm not patriotic. Don't get it fucked up. I think I'm getting out at the right time, especially as I look at how the leadership in this country is running and is being ran, and how the Secretary of War, or whatever you want to call him, doesn't really care about service members. I can make a whole video about that opinion, but I think I'm getting out at the perfect time. And I'm grateful for my service, and I'm grateful for what the future holds, and I'm grateful that I made this video, and I'm grateful if you watch to the end. And please like and subscribe, and look out for future videos that are coming from Barcelona and my life out there, because I will be vlogging. I will be having a vlog series for me going to Barcelona and studying. And love you, man. Peace.